for alcohol and,
It's the process we use when they first come to work with us. Their training starts, but they're not allowed to do anything with alcohol until they actually go and get their permits to serve the alcoholic beverages. Everyone in the building has to have those permits if they're doing anything with alcohol.
that's good. Mayor and council? Yes, ma'am, Madam Mayor?
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. Welcome, Mr. Williams. It's good to have you here. How's
Thank you.
business?
Business is good. It's been getting a lot better.
Okay, good.
Staffing, not so much, but business is going really well.
Well, if you have brought some salads with you this evening, no, just kidding. It's good
As
to
I
have
was
you.
sitting over there listening, I was like, I'm pretty sure everybody's probably kind of hungry right now. I wish I would have.
Well, thank you so much. And now you've explained how your individuals are, have the education or training before they become servers. How do you check for the people that are, purchasing food in Olive Garden?
Okay, there's two phases to it. We have our little computers that are on the, what we call
On the
ZIOS, that
table.
are on the tables. Guests can order beverages from that, but even when they do, it doesn't bring up the table or come from the bar until the actual server is able to go over there and verify their IDs and make sure that everything is correct before it's brought to the table. And the second phase is they ID anyone who looks like they're younger than 40. Now, the standard practice for most restaurants is if they look younger than 30, that we're not taking chances with that. That's too,
Yeah.
we want them to look, I guess, elderly, basically.
Look
So
like me.
if they don't fit the bill, it's like, I told servers, if you're not comfortable, I don't care if they look 80. If you're not comfortable, ID them.
Okay, thank you. So that really protects the patrons and yourself.
Yes.
Chief, have we had any concerns at Olive Garden?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Williams. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Any other council members? You sure? Going once? Okay.
No takers.
And I've seen the sign that says hiring. Is staff coming back to work now?
Yes, we have a lot of staff that's coming back to work.
That's good.
The thing with staffing is our business, we're basically at half capacity because of the CDC guidelines. But our business is coming back a lot quicker than the staff is. So
Yes.
it's been some challenges, but we're moving forward.
Okay, good. Well, thank you for your application, and if there's no other question, we're gonna hold a public hearing. And the public hearing is 5 minutes for those who speak against the establishment, and 5 for those who speak for. So at this time, we hold a public hearing for 5 minutes for those who speak against. Look like we have no takers. Anyone online? Okay. 5 minutes for those who speak in favor. Like we have no one, sir. So we'll close the public hearing, and thank you, and come back on Monday.
My pleasure.
And
Thank you.
we might take that salad.
Let's see what
Thank
we
you,
can do.
sir.
All right.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank y'all.
Williams.
That's all I have, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Recreation, Culture, and Tourism Committee, that's chaired by Councilmember Chris Watts.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no business tonight in Recreation, Culture, and Tourism.
Thank you, sir. Technology Committee, chaired by Councilmember Mayor Pro Tem Terry Miller.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no business at this time under the Technology Committee.
Thank you, sir. Transportation Committee, Vice Chair Councilmember Davis.
Matt, this time I might keep going out.
Okay, it's okay. Thank you so much,
Glad to
Mr.
replace
Vice
it.
Chair. Do we have any other business to come before committees, not committees, but legislative work session tonight from council members? Only thing I wanted to announce is that we do have, the Chamber of Commerce and the Council for Quality Growth is sponsoring the State of the City and State of the County, and I believe it's next Wednesday, the 21st. And it's at 11 o'clock here at the Conference Center. So if you're not able to attend in person, it is in person. If you're not able to attend in person, it will be televised as well. And I don't know the platform, but the Chamber is sponsoring it. So that's the only announcement that I had. Any announcements from council members? Okay, so we'll move on then to updates from city staff. Our city attorney, Mr. Joel Dotson.
No business, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Staff attorney, Ms. Lynn Woodward.
No business, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. The chief is back there. Chief Sparks, you have anything?
Yes, ma'am. On April the 20th
Mm-hmm.
at 12:30, we will have our third, I think, free food distribution at the police department. So
Mm-hmm.
April the 20th at 12:30, come on by the police department and we'll have some free food to give away.
Okay, that's Tuesday at 12:30 at the police department. Municipal building?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much, Chief. Food distribution. Anything else, Chief?
No, ma'am.
That's it? Okay, good. Our city manager, Ms. Marsha Hampton, welcome back.
Yes, ma'am. I sent you all an email about activities and opening and city operations. So as of May 3rd, I think I've heard from most of you all, we will be back to business as usual as best that we can. As far as the July 4th parade, staff is recommending that we withhold that again for this year due to just not being able to manage or know what the crowd expectation would be like, but we will proceed with fireworks for this year. We do have that contract. We feel like people can watch fireworks from their homes or from their cars and do that in a safe manner where we don't think that we can really manage a crowd for the parade. We will introduce back in activities, small events, inclusive of things at our park. So again, city operations will run pretty much 100% just at more of a limited capacity, but we will be open to the public. We'll have Chelsea Jackson come up just to give you all a highlight of what's in the governor's orders, and particularly as it pertains to our future meetings. If you all know that we are under an emergency order, which means that it does allow for virtual attendance, but Chelsea is going to explain to you what happens when and if that emergency order expires.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. Chelsea Jackson, 6695 Church Street. As Ms. Hampton stated, the public health state of emergency does end on April 30th. There's a chance that the governor can and will renew it, but with decreasing guidelines, staff is anticipating and gearing up that he will not renew and it'll possibly end. So with that being said, the guidelines set forth as it relates to facilities are now reduced to 42 inches, as I stated in the committee's meeting, which is about 3.5 feet. With no capacity limit, except for those set forth by the fire marshal and whatnot. So for city and council meetings and board and authority meetings, what this basically means is that staff will continue to use technological, sorry, thanks, Ms. Hampton, solutions when possibly to reduce the person-to-person interaction. But when the state of emergency isn't renewed on April 30th, that means that council members will be unable to participate on a virtual platform unless there's a quorum physically or if there's a health condition that permits them to actually come in. Also, Ms. Woodward can speak more to that, but council members are allowed 2 virtual meetings in a calendar year, so they can use that as long as a quorum is physically.
Okay. Ms. Woodward, do you want to, the same thing for WSA, you only have 2 a year when you can do virtual call-in or something.
Right, and I don't have anything to add on top of what Ms. Jackson just presented.
Okay.
So we will just keep you all posted as the orders. Ms. Jackson and Jason Post are the ones that typically read through the orders when we get them and just notify you. You know, there's a good chance that he will extend it again. However, as Ms. Jackson said, the governor is continuously lessening the restrictions. So I just don't see that those are going to probably carry forward much past the summer. So I think our time is fairly limited in this capacity if things continue to trend the way that they are.
Okay, I'll open up for council to have comments. How are we going to look here? Is this 3 feet or how?
You all are good. You all can stay this way if you want to, but I would think that inclusive also of the CDC, that is going to shrink as well. So you all will just have to let us know when you're ready and comfortable to sit closer.
Yeah, I don't know if the council members, if you feel alienated outside of the,
No, I think we still have to be cautious. Still got to be cautious.
okay.
Joel's concierge now, he can arrange tickets for people when they come in.
Oh, gosh, Councilmember Adams. you raised your hand.
I just wanted to ask our city manager if we continue along this line, is there a possibility we would at least be able to go back with the Labor Day Parade with the Shrine Temple sponsorship? Do I know where they handle that?
I think, Councilman Adams, that the Shriners will possibly want to do that if things continue to progress in a positive way.
I can assure you that,
so-
well, I've already had conversation.
Yeah, you know, and again, they do that parade, it's a lot easier, of course, you know, they have a lot more volunteers, you know, ours is strictly with staff, so it's a little bit harder for us to manage in some ways, so, and of course, it would be, July 4th would be a smaller parade because, of course, it's a municipal election, but it's, you know, definitely with law enforcement, limited staff, it's just something that is, it's just probably for us at this point during the summer, not in our best interest to do.
Did you sidestep my question, or what would your recommendation be?
My recommendation.
Madam City Manager.
Well, my recommendation would be definitely for you all to consider if the Shriners want to move forward. I mean, of course, they put the parade on, we're there for public safety purposes, but as far as setup and lineup, you know, they reach out to Greg, but a staff from outside of any other staff, we're not involved. So it really would be at your discretion to move forward based on what the climate would be.
I'm just speaking from my own personal desire to see us come out
Right.
as the summer closes and begin to get back into some sense of normalcy in the community, if the numbers will allow that. I'm not advocating at all that we push our limits there, but I just wanted to hear your input on that. And I'm sure it's all going to be based upon how things are as far as what's going on then. But I know that I have already had conversation at least once with some of the folks heavily involved in that, and I'm just curious.
Yes,
Thank you.
sir.
And I would say, you know, for the Veterans Day Parade, you know, the county has taken a very strict approach. So I would say that they may not be doing the Veterans Day Parade, but the Shriners, I just think that their volunteer base is just huge. They're able to just do things, I think, even that we can't do because of their volunteer support.
I just like the idea of the city kind of leading the way, showing everybody how to get back to normal.
Yes, sir. Any other comments? Oh, Councilman Davis?
Yes, ma'am. Madam Mayor and City Manager, as baseball and all the other sports have geared up and we're opening back up, will the park security, will their days change back to normal Monday through Sunday? Right now, I think they're Friday through Sunday. So with everything opening back up, more people are out, so.
We'll be discussing the park security agreement next month, I think, because that agreement is coming up. You know, Mr. Landrum will talk to you all about, you know, where he feels as though the need will be. I will tell you that, you know, with all of the sports cranking back up, we are still looking at smaller numbers. I mean, we're not going to have as many teams as we typically have. Mainly, it's just slowly, gradually getting into things. So he'll have to make the recommendation as to whether or not there'll be a need for the security. I will tell you that the chief shared with me some numbers on how things are going, and I know, of course, we've been in the pandemic, but it appears that for the past 6 months, we've had business as usual calls for public safety, so nothing that you wouldn't expect from.
Can't we get a report?
I can forward that to you,
A report from.
Yeah. And that's from 911.
Okay. So if there was an incident at the park and they did not call 911, then we would not have a record of it?
We would not, I would hope that park security would call 911.
If they were there, from my understanding, there have been some incidents outside of Friday through Sunday, but all those other days that they were not on duty.
If something were happening with an individual, I would hope that 911 would have been called. I mean,
Okay.
we do have zone patrol that frequently attends the park, but if there was an incident, and definitely, yeah, if 911 was not called, our staff, and if something happens while staff is there, staff notifies, not
Okay.
especially for emergency purposes.
Okay, very
So
good.
we get from Mr. Pearson and 911 call, we get a report.
I can give you Mr. Pearson's report, but what I would suggest to you is that the 911 report is the emergency report. I mean, he may have some notes of things that he runs into, but to me, as far as a public safety matter, I would rely on what's being reported through 911. And it's not to negate the information that he has, but when you're looking at emergency, I look at the 911 calls as what's prompted as far as emergencies.
Okay. Any other comments from the body, elected body? Well, thank you so much, Ms. City Manager. Do we have any staff reports?
No, ma'am, we do not.
We have comments from citizens and delegates. Do we have anyone online that would like to speak? Thank you, Ms. Jackson. Anyone in person? Thanks so much. We do have an executive session, so I will open the floor for a motion to adjourn to executive session to discuss potential property disposition. Thank you so much, Councilman M. Thank you so much. Mayor Pro Tem, did you get it, Ms. Candace? Okay. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. We are, after a short recess, we're going to be adjourned to executive session to discuss potential property disposition. Adjourned.